What's going on, everybody? Michael here at 3D Print Everything, and our KP3S Pro has finished the Octo pumpkin. So I've got a live stream of this printing. If you wanted to zoom through that, you can check one of the previous live streams that I just ended. I apologize that some of these live streams wind up going for much longer than what the print is actually going, but let's check it out. So this is uncleaned, so it's going to have couple little hairies around in here, but I mean, look at that. I mean, the quality I'd say is excellent. Now the model itself actually stuck it there, so I'm not blaming that on the printer. What we're looking for is the line consistency, how clean it looks. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any Z banding. I definitely think they got the Z banding fixed. Maybe we'll see that on a different color filament. But I am overall really happy with this. We did like I think a 20% gyroid infill. Look at the gap it bridged. No supports right there, and it bridged that gap really nicely. And that's going to be filament dependent. That's a lot of settings dependent. But for just to run it off of the same Cara profile I have as the KP3S, but just now with the 3S Pro being a little bit bigger, that is nice, and that's a pretty decent size. I mean, that's definitely is a little bit bigger than what I could have done on the regular KP3S. And if you did not know, the best way to clean up those hairies is to just take a torch like this and kind of go over it like that, and maybe we'll do it upside down, and it'll burn away all little hairs. It's not hot enough. It's not. You don't leave the heat on there long enough to melt it. I mean, even just a half second or second will melt it, but just a quick brush over will just melt the little hairy. So now, yeah, as you look close, we don't have any stringies. That's the quickest and easiest way to get rid of it. But really impressed with the printer so far. What do you think? What do you think of the Octo lantern? We'll put the printer to the test still. I'm gonna see about running another big print on it. We'll see just how big of a thing we can print on it, and keep testing it. But so far I really like it. I could totally actually see myself replacing all my KP3Ss with the 3S Pros. The Pros being just a little bit bigger, sometimes I run into that where it's literally just a smidgen, and that would make up on all those little smidgen ones, because then the jump from 200 to 300 is a big jump. So if I've got parts that just barely need to fit on a 200, and this is going to keep overall the same frame size, it looks like, I mean, they're almost the same height. They just managed to get a little bit more Z out of this one. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take up any more room than what those are on the shelf. It'll actually take up less room because the power supply is built into it. So I'm pretty excited about that. I do think I like this pretty well so far. And no matter if you like the glass or not, that's one of the easiest things to swap out. And I'll definitely change it out once it starts giving me issues. But for right now, if I can run on it and it prints that good, that well right off the bat, then awesome. And maybe sticking my fingers on it is why it'll stop working, because I'll get my oils all over it and need to clean it. But either way, there's a couple little things. KingRoon, I hope y'all watch this, and you can potentially make some changes in the future. It should also come with the sock, KingRoon. Yeah, guys, buy a sock and put it on your hot end. I'll wind up doing that to mine here in a minute. But yeah, here was another print that we did off of the PEX bed. So you can see that beautiful mirror finish. Pretty nice, actually. And then concentric fill on a little subwoofer box as a business card holder. But anyways, like, share, subscribe. If you tell me your thoughts on the KP3S Pro, Like I said, I think retail will be $250. There'll probably be some sales where it'll go on sale for $200-ish. I'm gonna assume that in the long run, this might overtake that one. I mean, like, it honestly is, to me, just an upgrade. I would just, you know, eventually drop the Pro and drop that one, in my opinion. I think this is the better representation of the company. I do like, you know, the linear rail on the Z. Like, if they just did that, if they put 2 linear rails right here, and you ran 2 linear rails, it would be fantastic. Like, I think everyone would just say it's a no-brainer to buy it. And you know, the wheels aren't bad, don't get me wrong, and I'm not crying too much about the wheels, but I would rather have the rails. I know other people would. So just be aware of that. But for the price, I'm pretty stoked about it. And I think it's in the right direction. And I hope in the near future we'll get KingRoon to be like some of these other printers that are coming out with what was it? True auto bed leveling, where the bed itself is fixed, and they do testing, kind of like I know Anycubic's doing it now. I know Prusa has been doing it for a long time. You know, that is going to wind up being the standard, because leveling is something that I teach. It's something that I think is important. But it's probably going to be 5 to 10 years before it's like a standard among all printers. And, you know, someone will look back on these and get one of these handed down, and they'll be like, this printer doesn't even home itself like all the new ones. Yeah, you know, that's gonna, or this one doesn't auto level itself. That's the way of the future here. But for right now, this, for the price, I think is awesome. And I can just keep rambling. Like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna let go, guys. Have a good day, and you know, do something awesome.